Valore floating vanity with Polymarble Resin Basin. Before you begin, here are some things to keep in mind. There is an attached list of components on the back page of the instructions. Always work on a soft, flat surface to prevent damage and scratches to your new product. Do not over-tighten cams, screws or bolts unnecessarily. Some items may vary from the illustrations. You will need a second person to assist in this assembly. Tools that you will need is a star and a flat screwdriver, a mallet, spirit level and silicone. Remember the following. Cams have an opening at the bottom that should be facing the edge of the panel. Press it into the hole to fit as shown. The dowels are only inserted into the holes and steel pins needs to be screwed into the wood with a screwdriver. Let's begin. You will open the box. Inside you'll find the assembly instructions, a smaller box and a set of rails and a total of 13 panels. Get the small box and open it. Inside you will find the parts bag and a U-shaped plastic. You will use it later. You will be completing the panels from the top down and will be working layer by layer. The first layer of panels will include 2 draw back panels, 2 draw side panels and 1 back stretcher panel. Let's start with the draw side panels. Each one of these panels will take 2 dowels and 2 cams each. Put the panel to the side once done. You will repeat this for the other draw side panel and also set it aside once done. The next panel you will complete is a draw back panel. Each panel will take 3 dowels and 2 steel pins each. Also set these panels aside as you complete them. Repeat this for the other drawback panel and also set it aside. The last panel on this layer is a back stretcher panel. This panel will only take 2 cams. Set it aside once done. The next layer of panels consists of a draw bottom panel and another back stretcher panel. Start with a smaller back stretcher panel which will take 2 cams only. Set it aside once done. Next, the draw bottom panel with the big cutout. This panel will also only take 2 cams. You can now get one of the draw side panels and simply push it against the side of the draw bottom, ensuring the cams are facing downwards. Repeat this for the opposite side panel as well. See step 1 on the assembly instructions. Now get one of the draw back panels and, as shown in step 2, move them into position at the back of the draw bottom. Lock the cam on the draw side and at the bottom of the draw bottom panel. Repeat this for the opposite side of the drawback panel and set this assembly aside once done. There is a small panel standing upright on the side of the box. It has no holes drilled into it on the front or the back face. This is the BI cover. Just set it aside for now. The next panel is a side panel. On this panel you will insert 8 dowels, 1 cam and fit 4 steel pins. Set it aside once done. The next panel is also a side panel. You will repeat what you just did. 8 dowels, 1 cam and fit 4 steel pins. Also set this panel aside once done. The next layer of panels includes a drawer front panel and the front cover panel. You will start with the drawer front panel, the big one. It will take 5 dowels and 2 steel pins. Now gather the already completed drawer assembly again and move the drawer front in place. See step 4 on assembly instructions. Lock the cams on the drawer side. When done, put the drawer to the side for now. The other panel that was on the same layer is the front cover panel. This panel will only take 4 dowels and 2 steel pins. Insert them and put this panel to the side once done. The last panel in the box is a drawer bottom panel. This panel will only take 4 cams. Insert them and move this panel slightly forward. You will now start to assemble the main body. Get one of the side panels and lay it in front of you. Gather the bottom panel and lower it onto the side panel, with the cams facing away from the main body. Lock only the corresponding bottom cams on the bottom panel. Next, the stretcher. Look for a long thin panel with 2 holes going right through the panel and lower it onto position as shown on the side panel and lock the cams at the bottom. Get the other stretcher panel. This panel will only have 2 cams inserted, no alternative holes. Lower this panel onto the side panel on the floor right next to the bottom panel and lock the cams at the bottom. Next, get the BI cover panel. This is the panel with no holes on the big faces of it at all. Just lower it into position. Take a look at step 4 in the assembly instructions for clarity. Now, get the other side panel and lower it onto the assembly, ensuring all the cams and dowels line up with their respectable holes. Lock all the cams closest to this side panel at the top. Now turn the main body onto the bottom panel and get the front cover panel and push it into place on the front of the cabinet. Lock the 2 corresponding cams. Remove the rails from the bags and pull the inner rail out until the release clip is visible. Please note the front of the rail has a lip or bend. Lift the release clip and pull the inner rail completely out, ensuring the release clip is lifted as far as possible. Repeat this for the other rail as well. The inner rail is identified by a single piece of metal where the outer rail is identified as the rest. The middle rail is the piece that moves in the outer rail. You will be using the outer rail first. Attach it to the main body using 3 screws and the provided pilot holes. The middle rail should be slided open towards the front of the cabinet and will also have to move to access the pilot holes behind the outer rail. Turn the vanity cabinet around and repeat this step for the opposite side as well. Next, get the inner rail and the drawer. The lip on the inner rail, see step 11, will have to be right up against the drawer front. Secure it in place using 2 screws along with the provided pilot holes on the drawer side. Turn the drawer around and repeat this for the opposite side of the drawer as well. Now get the U-shaped plastic and, as shown in step 3, lower it into place and secure it with 4 screws on the drawback panels, 2 screws per side, and 1 screw in the middle of the draw bottom panel. Lift the drawer and line up the inner rails on the drawer side with the middle rails on the main cabinet. Once lined up, simply push the drawer into the cabinet. Once you hear a click noise, that means the drawer is now secure. See steps 16 and 17 for wall mounting procedure, and once the cabinet is hung on the wall, follow step 18 to mount the basin. Should you have a different product than the Valore floating vanity, head to our channel to find the product you have purchased. Thank you for watching.